What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. Happy Victory Monday. Our Bucs 3-0, 3 game-winning drives from Baker Mayfield in this offense, piecing together wins when they matter. It's a good thing we're stacking them now because if we'll look ahead into what the schedule is in the future, but stacking wins now, 3-0, atop the NFC South. Let's get into this absolutely insane game that ended up being close out of nowhere. It felt like the Bucs were going to pull away and were pulling away, and then all of a sudden we're losing. It's like, what? Let's get into this. Wild, wild game. Unfortunately, I think the first place we have to start is the referees. And this isn't me even just as a Bucs fan, like complaining about referees. This is me as a football fan complaining about referees just taking over the game. I get it. There's obvious calls. Throw them on the obvious calls. But there were so many ticky-tack penalties on both sides to like yesterday. And it's just the game, especially in the first half, in that first quarter, you could not get any flow going. It just didn't feel good. It wasn't even that entertaining because anytime something good happened, anytime there's a substantial amount of yards gained on a play, there's a yellow flag. And once it got later into the game, I felt like a good play couldn't happen without me celebrating. I couldn't celebrate because I had to spend 5 seconds to look around the field to see if there's any yellow flags. Keep the flag in your pocket. Stop making it about you. Let these two teams battle it out. As simple as that. 14 penalties for the Buccaneers yesterday. 14 penalties, which I believe were the most since 2016, if I remember seeing that stat. 124 penalty yards to the Jets 7 for 81, which also isn't great, but 14 is insane. An insane number. Now let's go to what my keys to win were, and the biggest key was to stop the rush, specifically the rush from the running backs. I said Tyrod Taylor, sure, run the football, make Tyrod Taylor beat you. Do not let Breece Hall or Braylon Allen beat you. And what the Bucs do? They came up big. 9 carries for only 21 yards from Breece Hall. 2.3 yard average. And that includes, by the way, a long of 17 yards. He had a 17-yard rush and only ended with 21 yards on 9 carries. Phenomenal. 3 weeks in a row now from Atlanta holding Algier and Bijan combined under 50 yards. Nick Chubb could not get anything going except for that play at the end where he scored the touchdown. Did they let them score the touchdown? Did he not let them score? Regardless, didn't put up 50 yards. Then you come here. Breece Hall doesn't even put up 25 yards. Absolutely phenomenal job from this defense. Todd Bowles, that front, the linebackers, everyone playing their role, playing their part to shut down the rushing attack. It's looking like that run defense of the early 2020s, from 2020 and 2021, where Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, these guys just absolutely shut everything down. You could not run on the Bucs. It's looking like that so far this year, and they've played. It's not like they're playing bum running backs. If you want to talk about the Texans running back room, sure, but Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, getting absolutely shut down? Come on now. And then the other side of that for the Bucs offense, keep Baker Mayfield safe. Don't beat yourself on offense, making mistakes, errors, things like that. Obviously, there were a ton of penalties. That is beating yourself up, or the refs trying to just take over the game. I don't know what that was all about. Haven't watched the tape yet. We'll watch that tomorrow. But Baker Mayfield only getting sacked 1 time? That's an absolute win. That is an absolute win. I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to set it up like this every week because I'm still seeing people that are like, that was an ugly win. Todd Bowles, this is eventually going to catch up with the Bucs if they keep winning this way. So I'm going to keep setting this up. Makeshift offensive line. Your center's playing left tackle. Your practice squad left guard was out. So now you got another practice squad left guard coming in for the first time this year, Luke Haggard. Your left guard playing center. Your right guard goes out for the season last week. You bring in who was a 5th or 6th round pick in Elijah Klein a couple years ago. And then Charlie Heck is your right tackle. That is your offensive line. Only 2 starters remaining. Both of them are playing out of position. and then 3 street level guys. Baker Mayfield's banged up. Mike Evans goes out late third, early fourth, something like that. Chris Godwin's still not here. Emeka Egbuka's banged up. And you're 3-0. And people are finding a way to complain? Let me get that correct. People are finding a way to complain under those circumstances that you're 3-0. I just want to make sure I'm following. I'm not following. I'm not following that logic at all. What are you doing? As for the Bucs rushing attack, got to give it to the Jets on this one. Shout out to them for being able to shut down Rashad and Bucky Irving. They knew after watching last week and how the offensive line looked that the Bucs were going to try and run the ball. And boy, did they try to run the ball. Bucky Irving, 25 carries from Bucky. I wonder, that might be the most in his career so far. And only 66 yards on 25 carries, 2.6 yards per carry. Rashad White only got 5 carries, which was very shocking to me coming off of last week, for only 12 yards, so 2.4 yards per carry. Baker obviously had some massive rushes. The one late in the game, there was another one where he just juked out the middle linebacker on a third down. 4 rushes, 44 yards. Baker doing what he's done the first 2 weeks as well in this game. Receiving, we got to give it up to Egbuka. Once again, banged up. They announced before the game he was going to be on a snap count a bit. 6 receptions, 85 yards. Should have been more than that because that double catch at the end, that was a catch. That was a catch. 6 receptions, 85 yards, a long of 30. Doesn't get the touchdown in this game, but man, absolutely carries the Bucs aerial attack in this one. Bucky 4 for 33. Mike Evans 4 for 33. Gets his first touchdown of the season. Come on, Mike.
Mike Evans!
Sterling Shepard 4 for 80 with a huge catch and run towards the end of the game as well. Shout out to Sterling Shepard. I know he was a player that all of us kind of talked about last year. Is like, seems a little bit immature for a veteran, not very consistent, makes some very good catches here and there, but this year you got to give it up to the guy. Absolutely showing up as he needs to with the banged up room and Godwin, McMillan, and who knows what's going to happen with Mike Evans now in that hamstring again. Sterling Shepard showing up for this offense big time. As for the Jets aerial attack, like we said in the preview, it is Garrett Wilson and everybody else. 10 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown for Garrett Wilson. He had himself a day, that's for sure. Allen Lazard, 2 receptions, 13 yards, and a supposed touchdown. Still standing by that. I don't know what replays they showed on TV, but I can tell you the replays they showed on the Jumbotron at Raymond James Stadium, that was not a catch. And you think about how things played out. We'll get to that. Let's continue to go through the stats. And then to the quarterbacks, Tyrod Taylor versus Baker Mayfield. Baker, 19 for 29, 233, 1 touchdown. Once again, not a stat line where it's like, if you didn't watch the game, you look at this and you're like, oh, Baker was all right. He was all right. But look at the circumstances. Look at who's protecting him. Look who he has to throw to. This is not his offense that he's used to, that he went through training camp with, that OTAs. This is not his typical offense, and he does not care who's playing in front of him. He's going to motivate the guys. My camera just fell over by itself on a tripod. I don't know how that works, but that just happened. But he's going to motivate the guys. Do what you got to do. Receivers, I'm going to find you. Linemen, give me enough time. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to find a guy. Quick passing, quick play offense. Shout out Josh Grizzard for continuing to put together these fantastic game plans to where Baker Mayfield has that offensive line in front of him, and the Bucs. Baker only gets sacked once. How can you not be proud of what this team is putting on the field right now? It's fantastic. And then, obviously, the big plays at the end of the game. Tyrod Taylor, like I said, if you shut down the run, he will not be able to beat you throwing the football. I will give him a ton of credit, though. I will give him a ton of credit. 26 for 36, 197 yards. Doesn't quite eclipse 200, but 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That 1 interception, some on him, some on Garrett Wilson for not coming back to the football on a curl, comeback route, hook route, whatever you want to call it. There was a lot of heat sent towards Tyrod Taylor, and he did a fantastic job. and this is just watching in live time. Like I said, haven't even watched the all 22 yet. Did such a good job of just standing in the pocket, taking the hit on that blitz, and delivering. Shout out to Todd Bowles for those blitzes getting there, but even bigger of a shout out to Tyrod for just taking the hit, eating it, and finding a man downfield. Impressive, Tyrod. Defensively for the Bucs, don't make a scene. It's Jamel Dean with a pick 6. Clean catch with the hands, not with the body, and just, we know he's fast, down the sideline right before the half. That was massive from Jamel Dean, who has been playing on this channel. We've been saying he's been playing good. Like, there's still some people in my comments here and there complaining about Jamel Dean. I'm just like, at least from what I'm watching, he's playing good. And they've been targeting him a good amount, especially when it gets down to the red zone. You think about what happened in the Atlanta game where Penix went after him like 2-3 plays in a row towards the end of the game, and he was just coming up big. Dean's been looking good after taking a pay cut, by the way, to stay with the Buccaneers. Let's put a little bit of respect on Dean's name. And looking at the numbers now, Benjamin Morrison's, whether you agree with it or not, his snaps did go down. So clearly, Todd Bowles seeing Jamel Dean playing with some consistency yesterday, playing with some momentum yesterday, decided to leave him in the game. Not quite as much as Zion. Of course, Zion's not coming off the field, 69 snaps. Nice. But Jamel Dean, 51 snaps to Benjamin Morrison's 18. So playing the hot hand there. Jamel Dean was hot yesterday, playing very, very well all game long. It wasn't just, he made that one pick 6 and, whoop-de-doo. He had a good day yesterday. Really good day. How about the Bucs defense? 4 sacks on Tyrod Taylor. Like I said, Todd Bowles was sending the house. A lot from the secondary, too. And you see that in the numbers. Antoine Field Jr., he gets himself a sack and a forced fumble. Shout out to having the playmaker at free safety back and healthy, doing what he does. We saw, who else was it? Jacob Parrish get himself his first sack as an NFL player, as a Buccaneer. Yaya Diaby getting his first sack of the season, as well as Levante David once again. 3 of those 4 sacks on the day came from guys who are not defensive linemen. Todd Bowles, very good job yesterday, sending the heat when he did. And honestly, the sack numbers could have been a lot more. I know Levante David, Tyrod beat him clean in the backfield one time, and like I said before, there was multitude of times where Tyrod just took the hit and somehow still just throws an accurate ball and his receiver comes down with it. The sack numbers could have been worse. And this is not a bad offensive line for the New York Jets. It's really not. They got 2 really good young tackles and a very solid middle 3 there, interior. That's good job from the defense. As for the storyline of the game, like I said, the refs kind of did what they did in the first quarter. The score was only 3-3, but the Bucs began to pick things up a little bit more. Mike Evans gets his first touchdown of the year in that second quarter. Jets kick another field goal, and then Jamel Dean to end the half. Think about how big that ended up being, man. With less than a minute on the clock, getting that pick 6. And then how about that celebration with Vita Vea leading the way? Tough. And then the second half, things just get weird. The Bucs are just kicking field goals. They don't score a touchdown in the second half. Regardless, like in the third quarter, the Jets didn't score at all. They put up 0 in the third, and then fourth quarter, Jets put up 21 points in the fourth quarter to make this game competitive. The Garrett Wilson one, I'll give you that. They went down the field, scored the touchdown. I think that was the drive where Braylon Allen had a couple big runs. Like I said, that Allen Lazard, that was on 4th down 2. It was going to be back-to-back weeks where the other team's offense, 1st and goal, short yardage, and the defense, they came up with a stop. That was not a catch from Allen Lazard. It is what it is. Game's over. I'm going to stop complaining about it now, but it's just one of those things where the game should have never even got to that point because that shouldn't have been a catch. The Bucs end up going down the field. 4th and 1, they decide to go out there with the offense. They end up just trying to get the guys to jump off sides. They don't. They bring out the field goal team. Will McDonald, who I've seen replays now at this point that he actually did touch Elijah Klein on his ankle, which should be a penalty. Game's over. We won. It's fine. I'm not going to continue to yap and complain about it. Just giving the situations of it should have never got to that point. He ends up returning it for a touchdown. He ends up waving to the crowd. See ya. See ya. You look like a clown. Aaron Glenn doing a... You look like a clown. Did you guys watch film at all of what the Bucs did the first 2 weeks? Baker Mayfield had about a minute 42 timeouts. Did you not see what happened the first 2 weeks? You guys think your defense is better than the Falcons and Texans? Not quite. Bucs go down the field with ease, and it should have been easier because, like I said earlier, that Ibuka catch was a catch. Doesn't matter. He makes another fantastic catch. Sterling Shepard makes a great catch and run, and the Bucs end up lining up right in the middle of the hashes. Perfect for Chase McLaughlin. He hits it home, and that's that. Bucs win. Bucs win. Bucs win. I got to give a shout out to Chase McLaughlin. We do have to do that. He had 2 50-plus yard kicks, and when you look at what he had, 4 field goals on the day, five field goals on the day. Let me find this. Kicking, Chase McLaughlin, 5 for 6 on field goals because of the one that got blocked. So, yep, 5 field goals from Chase McLaughlin, 2 for 2 on his extra points. Bouncing back from what we saw the first 2 weeks. Special teams still an issue, still causing problems, I guess we can call it. Because of the block field goal. That's still special teams. That's a 10-point flip when you look at what may have been a field goal to put the Bucs up 9, 2 possessions, to flipping towards the Jets scoring 7 points and taking the lead, which is crazy. Crazy that's how it went down. One of the wildest games I've been to at Raymond James Stadium in a little bit now. Just crazy. Like I'm sitting there comfortable. Cool. I'm hot, but I'm cool and comfortable because of what the score is showing on the Jumbotron, and then out of nowhere, like I said, 21 points in the fourth quarter. You got to give them props for continuing to fight all the way to the end. But hey, you get Baker Mayfield a minute 40, minute 30, couple timeouts. At this point, after the first 3 weeks, even with this offensive line, even with the lack of weapons, Mike Evans not being out there now, still finds a way. Still finds a way. All right, so like I was kind of hinting towards at the beginning of the video, it's very important that the Bucs have been stacking wins these first 3 weeks because the schedule gets rough the next 4 weeks. So the Bucs beat their maybe their biggest competition in the division, in the NFC South, and the Atlanta Falcons, who they get blown out, shut out 30-0 in Carolina. Insane. Then you win at Houston. Then you beat the Jets at home. And now you got Philly at home. What a matchup that is going to be. It's a shame that game's at 1 o'clock. Maybe not. The Eagles usually seem to play a little bit worse at 1 o'clock in Tampa. I recall multiple Eagles talking about how they hate playing in Tampa at 1 o'clock early in the year because of how rough it is for them. Then you go at Seattle. That's a long road trip against a solid team. Then you got the San Francisco 49ers, who are also 3-0, just like us, dealing with an insane amount of injuries. Brock Purdy may be back by then. And then you got at Detroit on Monday Night Football. Like, these next 4 weeks, if we're 2-2, I'm not going to lie, I'll be good with it. That'll put the Bucs at 5-2. Then you got the Saints, 6-2. And then you're going to the bye. And the schedule after that, this is easily the toughest 4 weeks that we're coming up on right now. This is easily the toughest quarter of the season, the toughest 4 weeks of the season by far. You look at Saints, bye week, Patriots. This is a very tough back-to-back, but it's not a 4-game stretch like we're about to go into right now. And you got the Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, this 4-week stretch is major. And if the Bucs can get out of it 2-2, I mean, you start thinking about week 10, week 11, everyone should be back by then. McMillan, Gadecki, you can really have some momentum building with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that you're going to be favored in headed into the playoffs. I'm not talking playoffs. after week 3. But just shaping out, showing how the schedule, the outlook, how it shapes out, this 4-week stretch, massive. Massive, massive. It's Philly week. It's Philly week. And we know what that means. We know how big that is. We know how much hate there is there. And they're coming our place. And as someone who goes to every game, not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it, especially with them coming off a Super Bowl. They're 3-0. I just know how loud and cocky they're going to be, and half that stadium is going to be green. If I'm starting this on Monday, and I'm going to say this at the end of every video this week, if you have tickets to the Eagles game and you are not going for whatever reason, do not sell them to Eagles fans. Please be a good Bucs fan. Do your duty. If you want to sell them because they're going for a lot of money, I can't tell you what to do with your tickets. If you want to sell them because you have a baby shower, a wedding, obviously, sell your tickets. But there are so many Bucs fans out there who would like to go to this game. Post them on X or Twitter. Post them on Facebook. Post them on Instagram. Post them on anything. Throw it in your work group chat. Anything. Just don't give them to Eagles fans. This rant will happen every single day of the week because for some reason, every year, it seems like we play the Eagles at home every year. We still continue to have a 40 to 50% ratio of Bucs and Eagles fans at Raymond James Stadium, and I'm tired of it. That's going to be it for me, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Go Bucs. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.